Hello, my name is Joshua Ishaya. Welcome you to Special Report on Arcn TV. The Gender and Youth in Agriculture Research and Innovation Unit of Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria organizes an awareness and dialogue session to commemorate the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence with the theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. Gender-based violence is any violent act committed against a person on the basis of their gender. While gender-based violence can occur against men, it more commonly affects women and children. In fact, estimate shows that 1 in 3 women will experience violence, particularly intimate partner violence, at some point in their lives. Gender-based violence takes many forms and can happen to anyone. To declare the event open was the Executive Secretary of Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Town Planner Abubakar Adamu Dabai, who was ably represented by the Director of Planning and Research Statistics of the Council, Dr. Aliyu Shoaib Madogo, who reiterated the importance of gender sensitivity in the Council.
Today is the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria joins the global community in marking the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, a campaign that runs from November 25th to December 10th each year. This movement reminds us that violence against women and girls is not only a violation of human rights, but also a barrier to sustainable development, food security, and agricultural innovation. In Nigeria, women forms a backbone for agriculture, contributing significantly to food security, processing, to food production, processing, and marketing. Yet, gender-based violence, whether physical, economic, or digital, continues to limit their access to land, credit, training, and leadership opportunity. For Arcn, this is not just a social issue. It is an agricultural challenge. When women are silenced or excluded, our research outcomes are incomplete, our innovation less effective, and our communities less resilient. Awareness and advocacy. Arcn will use this campaign period to sensitize staff, researchers, and farming community about the impact of gender-based violence. Policy, we are committed to mainstreaming gender equality and gender-based violence prevention into agricultural research and extension framework. Training programs will equip extension workers and researchers in gender-sensitive and self-centered approach. Arcn will collaborate with government agencies, civil society, and international partners to strengthen advocacy and support system. As agriculture becomes more digitalized, Arcn will champion safe online space for women, farmers, and researchers. We call on all stakeholders, government, civil society, academia, and farming communities to unite in ending gender-based violence. Together, we can build agricultural systems that are not only productive, but also inclusive, equitable, and safe for all. Let us remember, ending gender-based violence is not just about protecting rights, it is about unlocking the full potential of Nigeria's agricultural sector. Arcn stand ready to lead by example, ensuring that our field, laboratories, and communities are free from violence and discrimination. Orange the world, end gender-based violence, empower women in agriculture.
Welcoming the participants at the event is the Head of Gender and Youth in Agriculture Research and Innovation, Mr. Oluyede Ademola. He says the event will give every Nigerian the opportunity to thrive in any endeavor of their life.
I welcome you all to this awareness and dialogue section organized under the global 16 Days of Activism campaign against gender-based violence. This campaign is a reminder that gender-based violence, GBV in abbreviation, remains a pressing challenge that undermines human dignity, productivity, and inclusivity. Within the agricultural research system, gender-based violence not only affects individuals, but also weakens our collective capacity to innovate and deliver solutions that benefit the society. By joining this global movement, Arcn reaffirms its commitment to building institutions that are safe, equitable, and empowering for all, especially women and youth who are critical drivers of agricultural transformation. Today's dialogue is designed to raise awareness, share perspectives, and strengthen collaboration in tackling gender-based violence within agricultural research system. It is a platform to listen, to learn, and to commit ourselves to concrete actions that will foster a culture of respect, dignity, and accountability. Our discussion here will contribute to the broader national and global effort to end violence against women and girls, and to promote gender equality in every sphere of life. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Executive Secretary of Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria for his unwavering support to make this day a reality for the Gender and Youth Unit. I also thank all the directors present here for their support. I'm also thanking all the facilitators of this program, our partners whose dedication has made this section possible. Most importantly, I commend each participant here today. Your presence underscores the truth that ending gender-based violence is a collective responsibility. Let us use this gathering not only to deliberate, but to commit to action. Together, we can ensure that Nigeria agricultural research system become a model of gender sensitivity, inclusivity, and youth empowerment.
I have seen a staff whose boss was feeling inferior to the person and was showing a lot of bullying attitudes towards that staff. That is also gender-based violence. So gender is not about women only. Men, youth, everybody can be a victim of this kind of office bullying, which is a form of gender-based violence. And in that situation, is the junior or the senior, whoever is the victim of that office bullying, is now the person that we have to protect or help. Then we also have another type of gender-based violence, which is sexual harassment. That is the most popular and everywhere it is. And permit me to say that if you are used to United Nations operations and processes, they ensure that once you are employed in such an organization like the multinationals, they expose you to their policies against sexual harassment. And so if that happens, it can be either both sexes, it can be to the young ones. So many females have complained, they want to get a job, they get sexually harassed.
The FAO led a pilot that was run. We tried to add questions about equality, about sustainability, about climate change. So we believe that going forward, we begin to ask in-depth question about gender disaggregated data. So we work with the gender unit to see that that is established. Going to the main issue that the role of police and leaders in preventing gender-based violence while encouraging gender-based balance at workplace. Of course, as police, we can challenge sexist behavior. Actually, behavior that will actually look demeaning on other gender. Just like Dr. Mrs. Yegwabu said, the gender issue is not about women. It's not about girls. It's about those within the gender divide. The men are there, the women are there, the people living with disability are there, the children are there, the youth are there. So I want you to register this. When we talk about gender here, we're not talking about women. Men are also disenfranchised. So we're also regarding to them across the gender divide.
Sexual harassment happens to fall under serious misconduct. And I'm happy that Dr. last speaker mentioned that this gender-based violence is not just to the female, to women, but let's be practical. Most of the people that suffer sexual harassment in the workplace are women. Let's be truthful to each other. And not just that, the second layer of people that suffer sexual harassment are usually from the bosses to the subordinates. It doesn't go from bottom up. It usually comes from top to bottom. But what I can assure you is that there are ways to treat when you are faced with it. The first line of action, I will tell everybody, I'm a woman, and I'll tell you to have come this far in life. Every woman here has one story of the other to say. And what has brought me usually is self-defense. I will tell you for free. You are always, because you are the person that is facing the harassment, you should be the one to fight it. And we are women, we know how to do these things. It's not physical. You know, there are ways to go about it. And if that doesn't help, I can assure you as far as here I'm saying, I'm here, you can always walk into my office, talk to me, one-on-one, and I know what to do.
Ma, I'm still within. All right, Ma, you've told us what to do. One thing I also want to confirm is, I think the gender units will pick up the challenge to have the house to know what are those things that we can call sexual harassment, because it has gone beyond just what we see. So some places, when you look at a woman in a form, they can tell you are harassing me. All right, yeah. So so for us to have balance, it's good for us as gender unit to spell out those things so that staff will know what they can, they can actually present as a report mechanism. Also, ma'am, if we come to you, sorry that I'm going to say a bit while with you, how effective, do we even know what our rights are when we come to you? How effective do we know that you will fight for us? Because the truth is, when it gets to the big, like you said, the superior level, there's a way of covering some of these things. So, what confidence do we have to say when we come to you, you fight our case?
What are the acts that constitute sexual or that constitute harassment? Might not all be sexual.
Yes.
There is even bullying, like Doctor said. There are some times where you have a boss that just feels that there is nothing good that comes from this staff. You bully a staff to an extent where the staff becomes has to deal with mental health issues. The person is coming to work, the person doesn't feel fulfilled and all that. Then, even a boss or anyone passing comments, those comments that someone will see you and just pass some comments to you, and they are not just on the surface, they are derogatory, and then the peak of it is when the person actually comes forward to say what they want to say, because we are all adults here. There's what you call a consensual relationship. If that happens, if you are both, but the truth is, it is not even encouraged in the workplace, and I'll tell you why. Because there is no way a boss would ask for these favors from a staff that it will not look like they are taking advantage, because they will have this feeling that if I don't do this, this will probably be the repercussion of it. So, like I said, if you come to admin department, you can come to my office, you know, we'll talk about it. And there are measures. Going to court or writing petitions or doing this, they are the last resort. Trust me, they are the last resort.
Gender-based violence is any harm done to a person because of their gender. And we established that it could be either to a male or a female, and it's top bottom. And it's most times in the workplace especially, is from our superior, your superior, you know, to a subordinate. We also have the case where it is with your partner, you know, but let's restrict ourselves now to the workplace. I have an example, you know, while in the private sector, I was in UAC, you know, and Tolu, one of my staff, you know, was harassed. Nobody, you know, it is not easily reported by her supervisor. You know, sorry for mentioning names. Tolu is already late, okay? You know, what happened was that she was so depressed. She was somebody who is in the cake room, very active. But you see, this constant pressure, I want to sleep with you, you know, is very widespread, you know, and in our climb here, it is underreported. More so, we don't have data. You know, the national demographic on health survey says about 31% women in Nigeria are harassed, you know, and only 9% report. That's the report they have. Only about 9% usually report. So back to my story. Tolu had to set up the supervisor. Real life story. She went to the hotel, spoke to her husband, you know, went, and then at the end to get facts, you know, in the very end they caught the man. That's how it happened. But you see, it is such that our policy does not really, you know, address these things very well. Yes, at the end of the day, the husband beat up the man. That's where it ended.
We do not tolerate anything when it comes to inequality of all sorts. And then poverty, when it comes to, you know, reduction of hunger and all the things that actually can bring poverty to the land. So we stand to ensure that, you know, different people around the world actually do not go through those things. It's been in existence for over 80-something years, and it's in, well, over the time we've been in almost like 200 countries. So I work for Oxfam in Nigeria as the acting program manager, gender justice. So thank you for having me once again, sir, Mr. Olede. Thank you so much. And it will interest you to know that I work with his wife. I said I was going to say it when I come. So when he came to me yesterday, I was like, oh no, oh my God. He's been actually, he's a father and to all of us. So I would not want to honor this invitation. It's very important to be here for me to share my knowledge. So for 16 days of activism, it is actually a period for 16 days. Each day has its day. Like today now is International Human Rights Day. We have the International Day of Persons with Disability. We have the 8th day. We have the Girl Child Day. We have different days. Every day of the 16 days is symbolic, has one day or the other that we need to commemorate. And it started in 1991. That's so 34 years ago at the Center for Women Global Leadership at the University of Rutgers, USA. So when people come together, you know, there's an idea that comes, probably in that university, from what I heard, there are a group of, you know, scholars, researchers, and all of those that constantly see that whether male or female go through one form of violence or the other. And when you come out of that violence, what do we call you? A survivor. Someone that's triumphed, someone that's pulled through, because it's not everyone that's gone through one form of violence or the other that survives it. Tons of women and men to gender-based violence around the world. And so currently, what they did 34 years ago was to ensure that, to support people, we need to tell this person, we see you, we understand the pain you are going through, and we stand with you. And that's the reason why this particular activity was started in the beginning, for us to be commemorating it all around the world. Then the highest form of violence that men go through is actually emotional violence. Emotional violence in which you suck it in, you do not speak. The pressure, the economic pressure on you is higher than what it is because of the society. The society says, even our religious book says, that a man that cannot provide is what? Is worse than a what? And those are societal constructs. Has put a lot of pressure on men and made them feel that they need to provide. And by so doing, those pressure are being transferred to women and bringing other forms of violence. So sometimes when we are saying men do not go through forms of violence, I beg to differ. They go through a lot of violence more than we can imagine. The patriarchal system, being in Africa, as seeing a man as the head of the family, and then you are not seeing the woman as a partner, has also brought so much into the society. So when a man that is probably earning 100,000 and a woman is earning 500,000, he will still be struggling to provide because the society said he should provide. And the woman will still be forcing him to provide because the society says he should provide. I spoke to some of my women in Yola. So I work in the northeastern part of Nigeria very well. Number one, I'm Yoruba, but I grew up in the north. So I speak more of Hausa. So whenever I go there, I understand the culture because I grew up in the north. Knowing that as a woman, for example, you probably just want to sit in the house and let your husband keep providing. Even if it's little, I told them, contribute. Why in Nigeria currently or in the world, men die younger and faster than women. And do you know why that is? The pressure, it's the stress. It's not physical, it's the mental stress, and that's the fastest way one can die. When you go to the hospital, you'll be wondering, why is this man, why does he have high blood pressure? He's thinking of how to buy Pampers, thinking of how to give a family. It's not just about the immediate family. There's a need for provision for even extended family and even friends. Do you know what this is called? It's called gender. It's a societal construct. When some of us, all of us were being given birth to, and they gave birth to us in the hospital, they didn't put it on your head, you must provide. No, it's when you came into the society made it a norm that the pressure should be on a particular gender. And it shouldn't be like that. So I tell women, if you want your husband to live longer, I think it's also important that you also empower yourself, so that it's a shared responsibility. But some women will say, oh, my husband say I should not do anything. I should sit in the house and take care of the family. I say, I think he wants to die young. Because if he wants to ensure that he lives longer and see that those children grow, it should be a shared responsibility. Because when there's so much pressure, the man is angry. And look at how the economy of Nigeria is turning every day. I think day before yesterday I was in the market. I bought a particular paste a long time. And when the man told me the money, I was angry. Then I remembered, I'm in Nigeria. Yeah, every day the prices of things actually goes up. So I went back and bought it quietly because I know that if I go back today, maybe it's another price. And so imagine a man, so the pressure is much. And so these forms of violence are translated into other forms of violence. You annoy the man, he's not angry because of what you said. The accumulation of the frustration of maybe from work, from the prices of things, from responsibility, is what is being brought out. So we need to understand that there is always, from an action that is being there, there's a reaction. So this I'm just summarizing this for us to understand that there are things, because I was hearing from questions from people, oh, we always talk about women. We do not just talk about women, we prioritize men as well. And then we generally talked about in the workspace, and that's why we're here today. The workspace, we have so much power imbalance, where you need to know that provided you are at the top, according to the VAP Act, you'll be criminalized or penalized for actually indulging in certain acts. Violence is not a respecter of whether you are that you don't have maybe knowledge or not. No. I know someone that is a son that died from domestic violence, senior advocate of Nigeria. So it does not matter what profession you are, it does not matter your education. There are people that are going through different forms of, domestic or gender-based violence. So gender violence is not a respecter of anyone. We need to be careful. As little as, oh, I'm sending this thing to this person and I will delete it later. Remember that the data has already been stored. So, and the internet never forgets. So we need to be very careful. And they're coming back. Let's bring it back home. Have you seen where some person send you some kind of emails and you are asking yourself, what is the meaning of this? I've received certain emails and it made someone feel less of themselves. So words being used through emails because you want to show that you are the boss or you can speak English is a form of digital violence. People do not know that. You want to express yourself and you send out some kind of emails. So provided the person feels in a sort of way, emotionally, you have actually committed a certain type of violence. So it's not an excuse for you to say, oh, I am just trying to convey an information. During our conveying, we must be very careful on how we send out those messages. And please, I would also want to inform us that currently the Ministry of Labour and Oxfam actually has a policy. We're hoping that by next year, the president will sign it into law. It's called the World of Work, Gender Workplace Policy. So it covers everybody in the workplace in Nigeria. So if you have any form of challenge, any form of maybe violence or harassment, the policy addresses that. And we're hoping that when we come here, it will be accepted. Because we really want, systems. One of the major challenges we have in Nigeria is we are signatories to every type of treaty, to every convention, to all policies. But our major challenge is implementation. We shelve our policies well written in gold-plated, books, but we do not even implement them. I know some of us are not conversant with probably VAP Act. We need to go and probably check it. It protects your right. He wants you to know that as a human being, you have a right. So everybody has a basic human right, which we are supposed to protect. So you protect yourself first, and then you can protect the next person.
On that note, we come to the end of the special report on the Gender and Youth in Agriculture Research and Innovation Unit of the Agriculture Research Council of Nigeria, as they organize an awareness and dialogue session to commemorate the 16th day of activism against gender-based violence, with the theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. My name is Joshua Ishaya. Thanking you for watching. Stay tuned with the first ever agricultural television station in the nation, the Arcn TV. Bye for now.